The entertainment world is absolutely reeling from what is being called the most unexpected, emotionally overwhelming, and technically ambitious concert moment in recent memory as Liu Yuning, in the middle of performing to a sold-out arena of screaming fans, suddenly pulled out his phone and called Zhao Lusi live on stage, with her face appearing on the massive concert screens as thousands of fans watched in real-time disbelief at this unprecedented public display that has sent relationship speculation into the absolute stratosphere. Why would a professional performer risk the massive technical complications and potential for disaster that comes with attempting a live phone call during a concert when literally anything could go wrong, and what could possibly be so important that it justified interrupting his own show to connect with Zhao Lusi in front of tens of thousands of people in the arena plus millions watching via live stream? The concert, held at one of Beijing's largest indoor performance venues with production values that reportedly cost millions to execute, including elaborate stage design, pyrotechnics, LED screen arrays covering every visible surface, and sound systems capable of delivering perfect audio to every seat in the massive space, had been proceeding according to the carefully planned setlist and choreography when Liu Yuning suddenly deviated from the script in a way that left his band, backup dancers, production crew, and the entire audience completely shocked. He stopped mid-song, walked to center stage, and addressed the crowd directly, saying he needed to make a phone call to someone very important to him, someone he wanted to share this moment with even though she couldn't be there physically. The confusion and anticipation that filled the arena in those seconds before anyone understood what was happening was palpable, and then Zhao Lusi's face appeared on every screen in the venue as she apparently answered his call, creating a moment of such genuine surprise and emotional impact that fans are calling it the single most memorable thing they've ever experienced at a live performance. The technical execution required to pull off this live phone call integration with the concert's massive video systems in real time without advance rehearsal or preparation demonstrates either incredibly skilled and adaptable production crew or potentially suggests this moment wasn't quite as spontaneous as it appeared to the audience. Concert video production typically involves carefully planned and pre-programmed content synchronized with specific moments in the performance, with every screen cue and camera angle decided and tested during extensive rehearsals to ensure flawless execution. The ability to suddenly patch a live phone call video feed into the arena's screen systems, ensure the audio was properly balanced so the audience could hear both Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's voices clearly, manage the framing and technical quality of the phone camera video being displayed on screens designed for high-resolution professional content, and coordinate all of this in real time while the show was happening live represents extraordinary technical capability and coordination. Industry professionals who work in live event production are debating whether this was genuinely spontaneous with an incredibly skilled crew adapting on the fly, or whether this surprise moment was actually carefully planned and rehearsed despite being presented as an impromptu deviation from the show's plan. Either way, the execution was flawless in ways that demonstrate world-class production capabilities. The conversation between Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi that unfolded on those giant screens in front of the entire arena audience has already been transcribed, analyzed, and dissected in exhaustive detail by millions of fans trying to extract every possible meaning and implication from their words, tone, and visible reactions. Liu Yuning apparently began by apologizing for calling during what he acknowledged must be late evening for her given the time difference, then explained that he was in the middle of his concert but felt compelled to share this moment with her because she had been so supportive during his preparation and rehearsal process. Zhao Lusi's initial reaction, visible on every screen in the arena, appeared to be genuine surprise and confusion, her expression suggesting she genuinely didn't know this call was coming or that she was being broadcast to thousands of concert attendees. Her first words were reportedly asking if everything was okay, if something had gone wrong, demonstrating the kind of immediate concern that suggested genuine care and connection rather than performed sentiment. When Liu Yuning explained that everything was fine and he just wanted her to experience this moment with him, her expression apparently shifted from concern to something that witnesses describe as deeply moved and emotional, with visible tears forming in her eyes as she seemed to process what was happening and what this public gesture meant. The audience reaction to watching this intimate conversation play out on massive screens in front of them has been described as creating the most electric and emotionally charged atmosphere that venue staff with years of concert experience had ever witnessed. The initial confusion about what was happening gave way to recognition of who was on the call, then explosive screaming and excitement as fans realized they were witnessing what felt like a genuinely private and meaningful moment between two celebrities whose relationship has been the subject of endless speculation. Different sections of the arena apparently had different reactions. Some fans were screaming with excitement and joy, others were crying from the emotional impact of the moment, and some were standing in shocked silence trying to process what they were witnessing. The diversity of emotional responses created chaotic energy that somehow also felt unified in the shared recognition that something special and unprecedented was happening. Multiple fans who were present have described this as more impactful and memorable than any planned performance element or special effect could have been, precisely because it felt genuine and emotionally real in ways that scripted concert moments rarely achieve. The content of Liu Yuning's words to Zhao Lusi during the call, beyond the initial explanation of why he was calling, ventured into surprisingly personal and vulnerable territory for such a public setting. He apparently told her that performing to these thousands of people was incredible and energizing, but that sharing success and achievement with someone who genuinely understands and supports you makes the experience infinitely more meaningful than experiencing it alone. He thanked her for being someone he can share both the struggles and the triumphs with, someone who gets what this life is actually like beyond the glamorous surface that audiences see. The specificity and intimacy of these sentiments, delivered in front of thousands of witnesses and being captured and broadcast to millions more via live stream and social media, represented a level of public vulnerability and relationship acknowledgement that celebrities at their level almost never engage in. The calculated risk of exposing genuine emotion and meaningful personal connection to public scrutiny and potential criticism apparently felt worth it to Liu Yuning in this moment, suggesting the depth of feeling and importance of this relationship to him regardless of how it's publicly labeled. Zhao Lusi's response to Liu Yuning's words, visible to everyone through her phone camera appearing on the arena screens, demonstrated her own willingness to be vulnerable and emotionally open despite the extremely public and potentially uncomfortable nature of the situation. She apparently told him that she was incredibly proud of what he's achieved and the work he's put into his performances, that watching him pursue his passion and connect with audiences through his music is inspiring and beautiful to witness. She expressed gratitude for being someone he wants to share these moments with, and according to multiple accounts, her voice cracked with emotion as she spoke in ways that suggested genuine feelings rather than performed sentiment for the cameras. The authenticity of the emotion visible in her expression and audible in her voice apparently created additional waves of emotional response from the arena audience, with fans who had been skeptical or cynical about celebrity relationship sincerity finding themselves genuinely moved and convinced they were witnessing real connection rather than manufactured publicity moment. The decision to end the call and return to the concert performance must have been difficult given the emotional intensity of the moment and the audience's clear investment in continuing to witness this intimate interaction, but Liu Yuning apparently kept the call relatively brief. Industry estimates suggest the entire phone conversation lasted approximately 3 to 5 minutes from initial connection to farewell. He concluded by telling Zhao Lusi that he needed to get back to performing for the fans but that he'll call her properly after the show. She wished him an incredible rest of the performance. They exchanged what sounded like genuinely affectionate goodbyes, and then her image disappeared from the screens as the call ended. The transition back into the planned concert programming apparently took a moment as both Liu Yuning and the audience needed to emotionally recalibrate from the intensity of what had just occurred, but when he launched into the next song, the energy and enthusiasm from the crowd reportedly reached levels that exceeded anything earlier in the show, suggesting the emotional connection created by that call moment carried through and enhanced the rest of the performance.